Hi Capricorn, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings. This week we are doing our full moon shadow work readings. Normally I do them as an all signs reading, but we do actually have two full moons this month. So the first of which I will be doing as these weekly readings. The second one I will be doing as an all signs video. Okay. But wanting to go a little bit more in depth with this full moon. So it is a super full moon in Aquarius. The super side of that just means that it is closer to Earth this time around, and that is in the sign of Aquarius, whilst we are in the middle of Leo season. So, with the Leo influence there, we are seeing a lot of dramatic conclusions, a lot of drama, surprising stuff happening, but it's all sort of giving us that opportunity to realign to our true purpose, release all that negative and sort of reveal sides of ourselves that we may not have been aware of, which is why I do like to do the shadow work readings on the full moon. Shadow work is all about sort of facing the darker sides of yourself, in order to grow as a person, help yourself be a better version of yourself for yourself. All right. Now, this full moon, it is what they call a sturgeon moon. For those of you who don't know, a sturgeon is a type of fish. It actually grows super huge. It's like 3.5 meters big, and it's one of the only animals that, it has not changed since the beginning of fossil records. Now, the important thing about this particular full moon and it being a sturgeon full moon is that, it is a season of abundance and harvest. Okay, it is a full moon all about abundance and harvest, whereas the sturgeon fish itself is actually critically endangered. So it's really bringing to light for us, that need to not only create abundance now, but to also provide abundance for the future of ourself, our planet, spirit as well. All right. So making sure we're feeding the earth and spirit as well as ourselves, so that abundance can be, brought into our lives, not only now, but in the future as well, future seasons, so that, next year there will be a harvest to be had, at all. All right. Now, I will let everyone know that if you do leave a comment on one of my videos, you will go in the draw for a free personal reading. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel as well. But today I will be using the Soul's Journey lesson cards to give us a bit of an overview of what's going on for you, Capricorn. I also have the Red Hand Lenormand, and doing something a bit different this time around, I do have the Hidden Truth Oracle. Now, they usually talk about other people's energy towards us, but they're actually proving to be, really on point when it comes to these shadow work readings and revealing the hidden sides of ourselves as well. So I probably will be incorporating them into future shadow work readings as well. Very impressed, even though it's my first time using them in this sort of a reading. It's going, they're working out really lovely. All right, so I will leave a timestamp in the description box so we know where to go. But starting off for you today, Capricorn, what does Capricorn need to know for their shadow work, please? Capricorn, what does Capricorn need to know for their shadow work? Wow, there's been quite a few signs that have gotten this card, which is really interesting because, I shuffled really well, and, there's, like 40, I think 40 cards in this, 44 cards in this deck, and, over 12 signs. This is the third time I've gotten judgment coming out for someone. Okay, so if you have strong placements in other signs, it might be worth checking those videos as well. We've had quite, like, this is the third sign that has had judgment coming out. All right, so very interesting. But I usually find your moon sign is probably the next one you would want to check after your sun sign when we're doing the full moon shadow work readings. That tends to be quite strong. But of course, if you do have other strong placements, they may have some insight for you as well. All right. Now, this particular card, the Judgment card, it does say here, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Okay. So it's all about understanding that you are unique. You don't need to judge yourself, and it's about comparing yourself to others a little bit as well. So, don't judge others. I'm getting that is it a Bible quote? Don't judge others lest ye shall be judged, or I don't know the proper quote, but something like that. So don't put your judgment onto other people, otherwise other people will put judgment onto you. But it's really all about self judgment. I'm finding this full moon, a lot of people judging themselves negatively for things that they've done in the past, past behaviors, actions, words that you may have done, and judging yourself quite harshly over where you are at this level, feeling as though I know it's a Capricorn thing to have very high expectations on yourself, but comparing yourself to others is never going to be a bar to show you where you're at, because the only person you can sort of compare yourself to is yourself. So as long as we're continuing to move forward, there's no point judging yourself negatively for where you are or are not in this life, because you can be, lo and behold, that as long as you're moving forward, you're doing better than you were this time last year, 5 years ago. So, you are meeting expectations, even if they're not quite to the same level as what you would hope or whatever, but stop judging yourself, Capricorn. It's very muchly that kind of energy with that Judgment card. All right, but we'll get a bit more detail with the Lenormand. Okay. Capricorn, what does Capricorn need to know for their shadow work, please? Okay, some interesting energy here, Capricorn. Nothing hugely oppositional when it comes to shadow work. Some of the readings I have been doing have been very, very oppositional and confronting. Shadow work tends to be confronting by nature, but nothing really hugely dramatic here, Capricorn. I feel like you're judging yourself, a lot stronger than anyone else is judging you. That's for sure. But firstly, we do have the ship. Okay, so the ship is, in a standard reading, the ship is all about your ship's coming in, traveling, journeys, those sorts of things. So when we're looking at that in a shadow work perspective, it's really about that journey within your soul. All right, and how far you are journeying in this lifetime. So once again, like I was talking about with that Judgment, is the only person you can compare yourself to is yourself. And if you look back and see how far that journey has brought you already, you probably are a totally different person now as to what you are 10 years ago, even just a year ago, Capricorn. If you've had a last, if 2020 hit hard, right? So I know that was a few years ago now, but I feel that a lot of people have gone through a lot of changes and growth in the last couple of years. So even if you just look back at who you were at the start of 2020, it's probably a totally different version of yourself as to what you are now. You've probably journeyed a long way already. Now, because this came out first, I dare say that it is letting us know that, you're well into this journey, Capricorn. I feel as though, it's not just sort of just setting sail. It's something you've been undertaking for a little while. You're already out on the middle of the ocean, sailing the sea of your soul, so to speak. So I really feel as though this is, the journey's nearly over, I want to say, Capricorn. I'm getting that very intuitively there, that the journey's almost over. It's been a long journey, all right? It's like like years at sea, and all of a sudden you can see the coastline again. You thought you were lost at sea, but all of a sudden you can see the coastline, and it's nearing, it's getting close. All right, so I feel that really strongly, Capricorn, that it's really about not feeling like you're lost in this sea of sadness, not feeling like you've gotten lost along the journey. That this journey has had its reasons. There's been a long it's been a long journey, but it's definitely, taking you to distant lands and taking you, to places you've never explored before. There's a lot of adventure to be had yet. All right, so it's feeling quite empowering, this ship for you. I have had this ship for another sign. I believe it may have been Aries got the ship as well, but it is feeling totally different for you. For Aries, it did feel like a lot earlier in the journey, whereas for you, it feels as though you're getting close. You almost there, Capricorn. So I'm actually getting a huge sense of um, joy and gratitude coming from this. So it's kind of like really stopping and looking at the journey so far, and finding that gratitude in how far you've come, and finding that gratitude in there may have been a few nights where it was stormy weather, and the sea was like all over the place, but my ship did not sink. I'm almost there, and my ship did not sink. My sails are still fully cast into the sky. But with the ship, I do also get a strong message of the whole idea of a ship. A lot of the time they plot their course via the stars, and I will definitely mention this, Capricorn, as when I was shuffling there, I did notice that the star card was on the bottom of the deck. So it's not a card I've drawn for your shadow work, but I do feel it is influencing this ship card, in the sense that ships a lot. I don't know if they still do. Like, obviously these days we've got a lot of technology, and they've got like navman for ships or whatever. Obviously I'm not a boating person, but back in the old days they would plot their course by the stars, and they would follow the stars to know where they were going. When they were at sea, the stars were very, very important to guide sailors to where to go, and in this sort of representation, and the stars actually talk about wishes in the Lenormand. The stars are all about wish fulfillment, and your hopes and your desires and your aspirations. The dreams that you want fulfilled. They may seem totally far fetched, but you know that's what's guiding this ship to come into land and finally dock for you. I feel, Capricorn, that you've been following a wish, or multiple wishes, and you are so close. It's like I can taste it. It's like I can, like, you know it's really close. All right, I just keep getting this vibe of like the ship is about to sail into the harbor and dock. All right, so it is super close, Capricorn. Obviously everyone within the collective is going to be on slightly different timelines, but it's overwhelmingly close. It's closer than you think. Okay, so even if you're someone who's still actually out at sea, it's kind of like you're one of them ships, just sort of like, because I'm quite close to Newcastle in New South Wales here in Australia, and it is a port city. All right, and so if you're at Newcastle at night time and you look out over the ocean, you can actually see dots of light out on the ocean, miles away, and those, they are actually ships waiting for their signal to come into the harbor to unload their goods. All right, and so it's giving me that vibe that you're just sitting out at sea, just sitting there waiting for that call to say, okay, your ship can come in and dock and unload all this cargo. All right, and this cargo is probably going to be stuff like everything that you wish for. One second. Sorry about the weird pause, Capricorn. I'm here with my 6-year-old, and we all know what children are like. I'm so sorry for the interruption. But yeah, like what I was sort of saying is it's just waiting for that call to come on in, and all that cargo is your wishes, your true desires. They're all sort of loaded in this ship, whatever they are for you. Like, I was saying this to, I believe it was Aries, that it could be full of gold and money. It could be all material things that you need in your life. It could be people that's all on this ship that are waiting to come ashore. So it's really you following your dreams and using those dreams to guide you along this journey, Capricorn. So I'm feeling, stop judging yourself, because with that judgment card, it's really like you have been saying to yourself continually, this journey is getting me nowhere. I feel like I'm lost at sea. I'm I'm sailing around in circles. I'm sailing. This is what you are telling yourself. You're judging yourself negatively, saying, "Oh, I'm just going around in circles. Oh, I really wish for this, but I'm never going to get it." Is the vibe I'm getting there, Capricorn? That you're judging yourself super harshly, and the more that you judge yourself, you're going to be in this reality judgment zone and not focused on these wishes and desires. And you really need to make sure that you're following that map, which is those stars, that those wishes, those desires. Keep them clear. All right, keep following them, because you're going to get there, Capricorn. I definitely feel it in that energy. And do you know what? I am a Capricorn as well, so I am like super eager to see what lies ahead for us all. But it's really about that gratitude for the journey. You may have been going around in circles a few times, but do you know what? It was all part of the experience of, this crazy life that we live. Pardon me, Capricorn. Now, the next card that we do have is the Clover. All right, so in the standard deck, the Clover is actually, one of the luckiest cards in the deck. So as a shadow work card, though, it really refers to the risk factors of the clover, all right? Because the clover, even though it is all about good luck, that pick a four-leaf clover and you'll have good luck kind of a vibe. As a shadow work card, it really does talk about, risks and gambling, all right? So it's kind of, what are you gambling with, Capricorn? I feel that for some of you Capricorns, this is, you're taking too many risks, and you're not actually like, these risks are they're in they're fighting against those true desires. You're taking a gamble, that's actually pulling you away from those wishes. All right, so I feel as though you sort of, and I feel like for at least one of you, you're kind of gambling with your life here. It's you're taking big risks, and they're, in they may in the short term pay out, but they're not serving you in the long term. All right, because the long term is all about those wishes being fulfilled. Short term, it's that quick bang, bang, bang. Oh, I got that. I got this. I got that. But it's not paying off in the long term. Um, and so when I introduced the idea of the full moon being about the abundance, and talking about how we need to create that abundance not only now but for the future, so that next season we can harvest, the season after that we can harvest again. That's what's happening here. It's you're only focusing on right here right now harvest, and the abundance right here right now, whereas you need, because the clover is about short term. So the reverse of that is kind of the long term effect that's going to have, for you when it comes to shadow work, and it's immediately telling me that you're taking too many risks. All right, and for a lot of you, this is financially, all right, because it is a financial card. It can talk about actual gambling, like investments and stocks and those sorts of things as well. So, you know, only be, only be doing those sorts of things if it's got a long-term return on your money. All right. So don't be investing in things that are just quick bang for your buck. Quick, oh, I'm going to get a quick return now. No, no, you need to be focusing long term. You're limiting yourself to the short term goals here. And that's not actually fulfilling your long term wishes and desires, because I'm feeling they're different. All right. You're judging yourself with that journey and those long-term wishes. All right. You're judging yourself, and you're judging those wishes as to them being unrealistic. You're kind of telling yourself, oh, that'll never come true. That'll never happen for me. I'm not where I need to be for that to happen for me. But do you know what? It definitely could happen for you. And you're forgetting these wishes. And you're only sort of focusing on, that quick satisfaction, that super quick thing, the short term. You're only looking at that, whereas you need to be looking at the longer term goals. And that's super supported by our next card, which is actually the lily. All right. And so the lily is all about longevity and long term. And it really asks us, I am getting a separate message for that completely as well. But those two together are both, career money related. All right. So that short term fix of, oh, this is the higher paying job. I'm going to take this because it's the higher paying job and I need money now. Whereas no, but long term, it's not actually fitting into your long term goals and your long-term desires. All right. And so it's kind of like, you may choose this job right here, right now, because, oh, look, it's going to make me all this money, this investment right now, because it's going to make me all this money, but it's not going to pay off in the long run. Whereas if there's another option where you could choose something that, oh, it might not be quite as high paid, but there's a lot more like job security, a lot more long-term longevity of dividends or whatever. I'm not a financial person either, guys, so bear with me. But that's what it's all about. It's this fighting between the short term and the long term goals, and it's telling me straight out, Capricorn, that you need to focus on the long term, not this short term bing bang bong stuff. That's not serving you at all, Capricorn. It's actually hurting you more than anything. It's a gamble that you should not be willing to take at this time. So really need to look at those risks that you are taking in the short term and ask yourself, is this going to pay off for me long term? All right. And so for some of you, this may not even be money or career stuff. I'm talking about, I have quite heavily been talking about the financial side of it because I'm seeing the financial cards coming out. And we're Capricorns. We love our money, right? We love our material things. But, spending all that money right now on shoes is not going to serve you. Oh, I shouldn't tell myself that. But that's what it's all about, though. It's don't go and spend all that money on shoes right now, Michelle, because shoes aren't going to feed your kid next year. So it's things like that, and it really, for some of you where it's not money or career related, we're looking at gambling with, like I said it before, gambling with your life, gambling with your health. You're undertaking something for that short-term, quick satisfaction that's not actually going to pan out, and it's not going to serve you in the long run. So I'm talking about, risky behaviors. I'm talking about things like drugs and things like that. It may make you super happy right now, but it's not a risk you should be taking at the moment, Capricorn. And you really need to look at those sorts of risks that you're taking. And I do feel there's one or two Capricorns out there where this risk is actually sexual risk as well. All right. So be wary of those things, and be, making sure you're looking after yourself when it comes to your health and your well-being. All right. Because these risks that you're taking in the short term may be actually endangering your long term. All right. So just please take that on board for whoever that is. Like I said, it may be only one or two of you, but, please take that on board. If you know that that's you, and that sort of feels, if that just hit you in the heart, and you deep down know that that might be you, please take that on board. Because we do see the longevity in this card, and what this actually tells us, this card is telling us you need to stop, sit down, and, well, for some of you, write out your funeral plans, write out your will. It can be hard issues like that. It can be, it's looking at, because it does talk about such longevity. It's that end of life. How do you want your life to be at the end? What do you want your eulogy to say about you? What do you want your legacy to be, to pass on to your children or your family or whoever? What do you want your business to look like by the time you pass away? It's asking you to look at the end of your life, basically, and ask yourself, are you going to be happy if you're the end of your life, you look back at your life and it says this and this and this? Are you going to be happy with that and that and that? And it's asking you to look at that time period. So it may, for some of you, it may be 10 years from now. Some of you, it may be 20 years from now. Others of you, it may be 50, 60 years from now, depending on your current age and whatnot, and unexpected things. But, it's really asking you to sit down and look at, would you be happy looking back at this right now? Are you taking, are you following your desires? Are you following the path of yourself? Because, I'm going to read that out again, that judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Are you facing your challenges? Are you following your unique path? If you, if you look back 20 years from now, will you be able to honestly say, I followed my unique path and I faced my challenges. I beat my challenges. I overcame all my challenges. And I walked my unique path and I did it well. All right. So it's asking you to look at that, Capricorn. So for some of you, if you have been thinking about things like, writing a will, and those sorts of things, it's definitely supporting that intuition of yours. If that's something that resonates for you, that, you have already been thinking about that, I would definitely go ahead and do that at this time, writing out those plans and whatnot, okay? Hidden truth for Capricorn, please. Hidden truth for Capricorn. Okay, so straight away we've got that ship energy coming back out. I am becoming a better person. All right, so that's actually super positive. Once again, Capricorn, like I said, your reading is actually, relatively positive. There's a few, as with all shadow work, a few confronting things and whatnot. But, I am becoming a better person. So stop judging yourself, looking at your journey as, I am becoming a better person. I am overcoming these challenges. I am walking that unique path. Do you know what? I'm trying my best. Some days that's just getting out of bed. And as long as, if you can do that, awesome. You're doing better than some of us, I can tell you. But you are becoming a better person. So, show some gratitude to yourself, Capricorn. Stop and appreciate how far you've already journeyed in this world. I feel like a lot of you have been through a lot, and, the best is yet to come. All right. I look for you everywhere. All right. So that's a very interesting energy when it does come to shadow work. It does, once again, it's sliding back to that judgment. Okay. And it's kind of that comparing yourself to others energy, comparing yourself to, I look for you everywhere. It's like I look for myself in others everywhere. I look to see if they're doing as good as me in that. Why are they not as good as me in this? How come I haven't got that? How come I can't be like that? Stop doing that, Capricorn. It's not serving you, all right? It's looking everywhere except for yourself. You know, like I said at the start there, the only person you can compare yourself to is yourself. So stop looking externally, for people meeting expectations. Start looking internally. And like we said, if your expectation is today I'm going to get out of bed, and that's the biggest goal you have for that day, that is fantastic. All right. I know quite a lot of you have much heftier goals than that. But as we did see with that star energy, with that ship, as long as you're following those stars and following those wishes, you will get there, Capricorn. It is so close. All right. So just have faith. Stop looking around what everyone else is doing, and, just worry about focusing on what you truly want and desire, and you will get there. All right. But that's what I have for you today, Capricorn. I hope that resonated for you guys, and maybe help in some kind of a way. You're more than welcome to check your other placements. The moon signs do usually resonate quite strongly at the full moon, but you're welcome to check any strong placement as well. But hopefully I will see you all again soon.